second most exciting moment of this evening has arrived. Our judges have chosen the 5 finalists who will go on to compete for the Miss Universe title. The ballots have been marked. Our accountants have tabulated them, and they have compiled a list of 5 lucky delegates. Now, may I have that list, please, Miss Hospitality? Thank you. These are the 5 girls who will go on to compete for the title of Miss Universe. The first of our 5 finalists is Miss USA. Is one of the 5 finalists. The second girl is a girl who's been one of your favorites all evening long. She is Miss Philippines. The next young lady is a young lady for whom you've applauded more each time you've seen her. She is Miss Norway. Our 4th finalist is Miss Israel. Here we have 4 of our 5 finalists. One more of the 12 semifinalists. One more girl for this pedestal right here. Ladies and gentlemen, that girl is Miss Spain. Congratulations, finalists. We have now reached the final phase of tonight's competition. A chance for our judges to watch all of our Miss Universe finalists in an informal answer and question situation. Now, each of these 5 finalists will be asked a question of general interest. We are not trying to test their knowledge. We are not trying to test their education. We only want to give the judges one last chance to review their impressions and refresh their memories of last week's interviews. Now, we have interpreters standing by so that each girl may answer the question in her own language if she wishes, and the answer will be translated for us. Now, I have 5 questions here, and each girl will choose a question, and then we'll listen to her impromptu answer, and we're going to start with you, Miss Spain. Step right down here, Miss Spain, please. Here. And may I have the Spanish interpreter, please? Now, Miss Spain, would you select one of these questions? Just take one. Very good. Now, would you come up here with me, please? The question that I want Miss Spain to answer is this. If your little sister or a friend were to enter this pageant next year, what advice would you give them?
Did I say in Spanish?
Please.
Yes. Él pregunta que si tú tienes para el año próximo una hermana, si tienes, si la aconsejas para venir aquí.
O una amiga.
Al Miss Universo, el próximo año.
Sí, le aconsejaría porque vale la pena nada más que por tratar con tantas niñas de diversos países, de tantas nacionalidades distintas, convivir y saber más o menos el modo de pensar de cada una. Además, una experiencia muy importante y que toda chica debería de tener, pero solamente se le dan a privilegiadas y hay que dar siempre las gracias.
Yes, now would you please tell us just briefly what did she say?
She says she will advise her sister to come in because it was a very good experience. Not only because they are girls from every country, it will be a very good, enriched experience for any woman in the world.
Very good. Thank you very much, and thank you, Miss Spain. Now, Miss Israel, will you please step down here? Take one of the questions. Your question is this. If you had to stop being you and become somebody else, who would you want to be and why?
Too expensive in Hebrew.
In Hebrew?
Yes.
May I have the Hebrew interpreter, please? All right, while they get someone who speaks Hebrew, will you please step back up there? Would you step down here, Miss Norway? Take one of these 3 questions. Your question is, you've had a chance to see how the people of Athens live. How does it differ from the way people live in your hometown?
Oh, that was a difficult question, I think. People here is very warm, and they're looking on each other, and they don't care to talk with strange people on the street. In Norway, we doesn't do that. And that's... Oh, it's difficult to answer.
I get the impression, though, that they are more friendly and warm.
More impulsive, yes.
And display their emotions.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, Miss Norway, very much. Now, Miss USA, would you please step down here? Take one of these two questions. And your question is, you've been away from home for about 10 days. What is the first thing you're going to do when you get home, and why?
Many people will ask me, the first thing, how is Greece? What is it like to be home? The people in this country have made me feel so at home that all I can do is take them back with me, and that's what I'm going to tell my folks when I get home.
Very nice. Miss USA. Now, Miss Philippines, this is the remaining question. This question is for you. Your question is, let's make believe that all of a sudden, this is a perfect question for her. Let's make believe that all of a sudden you had $1 million. What's the first thing you would buy, and why would you buy it?
A house and lot. Because it's the most expensive thing, and I can't afford it. So if I had $1 million, I'll buy a house and lot and live by myself. And other people, of course.
Thank you very much, Miss Philippines. Now, Miss Israel, would you step right down here? Now, your question, and this lady speaks Hebrew. Would you step over here on my left, please? And her question was, if you had to stop being you, and become somebody else, who would you want to be, and why?
I understand now. Thank you.
Thank you for your tremendous contribution to this show.
I think I want to be a great scientist, because I think that science is the most important value in our lives, but the instructive science, not the destructive science, for war purposes, for instance. So science helps humanity, and this is my aim in life.
Thank you, Miss Israel. Judges, you've heard our 5 finalists. We await your decision. Who will be Miss Universe for 1973? Now, while the judges are busy marking their most important ballots of this evening, I'd like to introduce the reigning Miss Universe for her traditional walk and words of farewell. Let's welcome Miss Universe of 1972. Here is Carrie Ann Wells of Australia.
As my year's Miss Universe ends, I would like to thank the people of the world for teaching me that we are all one people, capable of living happily together in the light of evolutionary progress and universal love. To Miss Universe 1973 and her 60 beautiful runners-up, I wish success and happiness, and remind them that the beauty of the body in time gives way to the eternal beauty of the soul. And my Greek friends, Kathos oronos mu san mesiphilios talioni, telo na ευχαριστήσω όλος τους άνθρωπους του κόσμου που μου έμαθαν ότι όλοι είμαστε άνθρωποι, ικανοί να ζούμε ευτυχισμένοι μαζί στο φως της πρόδου και της αγάπης.
You've all written down your choices for the 4 runners-up and the girl you think will be Miss Universe. With the crowning of that lucky young lady will come the end of our visit to Athens. I found it's a warm city, and so are the Athenians. The ancient traditions of hospitality are observed here to the fullest. I also found out that it's best not to argue with the generosity of your Greek host if you're lucky enough to have one, because it's a matter of honor that he pays the check. It's a city filled with colors, sounds, and aromas, like the smoke from the souvlakia stands and the chestnut vendors. And I know I'll remember the music of the bouzouki songs drifting out of the tavernas, and of course, the magnificent Acropolis. For the girl who will be crowned in just a moment, this is just the beginning. And now it's time to find out who she is. First, though, a word about an antiperspirant made especially